Okay, so during the session today, we're going to cover ways that AI tools can help streamline the qualitative analysis process, how to effectively combine AI-assisted and manual coding techniques, and how to thoughtfully evaluate AI-generated output so your analysis still reflects your own interpretation, insight, and voice. Okay? We want this to be interactive. We have a pretty small group today, too. So let's make sure you get all of your questions answered. The chat is open. Feel free to use that. Ashley and Samantha are also on here so they can answer any questions. And you can also submit questions in the Q&A at any time. I'm going to go through a few slides and then we'll do a live demonstration of the tool. And everyone will have the ability to log into the tool and follow along. So if you have your own data and you want to get in there and run it through the AI tools, feel free to upload it and we'll show you how to do all of that. We also have sample data sets you can use. Okay, so let's get started. And again, questions at any time. So this is a quick overview of what AI can help facilitate in the qualitative analysis process. It shows you where the time saving can be found and what you still bring to the table as the researcher. So AI simply helps you get there more efficiently. AI is becoming increasingly common, and it's important to view AI tools as a support to facilitate research and not a replacement for the researcher. So while AI is very efficient and effective at quickly processing and evaluating large amounts of content, it's essential that you, as the researcher, review the output and ensure the final codes and themes and interpretations reflect your domain expertise. They show your critical thinking and your perspective. And we've built features in our tools that help facilitate that process, and we'll go over that during the demonstration as well. Intellectus has AI features for both inductive and deductive coding. So for inductive, meaning you don't have predefined codes, we suggest this protocol. And note that AI is quickly generating content for some of these steps, and there are always steps in between for your evaluation and reflection. Deductive is a similar process. You'll just be adding your codes prior to running the AI coding. And I'll show you how to do that whenever we get into the demonstration of the tool. Okay. Once you've coded your data and you move into writing your findings and discussion chapters, AI can facilitate that process as well. So within the tool, you'll have the ability to generate a discussion chapter draft that aligns with your methodological approach, and it incorporates relevant seminal works. So note that I said, because I know I keep reiterating this, that AI can get you the content quickly, but you need to do the final review and edits. And we'll give you the option within the tool to select your methodological approach, add additional context like your research questions, and that will inform the AI features. So one question we get a lot is, what's the difference in using a tool like this that incorporates AI versus just doing it in an open LLM like ChatGPT or something like that? So there's a few differences. One is we have curated prompts that incorporate your project specific information to inform the AI and the coding. And another is that none of the data that you put in this tool is going to be used for training. That's always a big question. And rather than a large export, so if you upload all of your transcripts and say find codes and themes, you get a list of excerpts and you get some codes and things. Maybe they're not what you want. You have to re-put everything in. So instead of a lot of back and forth and being trapped in this endless like prompting and re-prompting to get what you want, everything is hosted in this one platform, and you can easily vet what the AI has done, and then you can also manually add codes and themes. So it's just a cleaner way, I think, to do it than just open LLMs. Okay. So let's get everybody logged into the tool. So this is where you log in. If you have your own data, you can upload it to follow along. And I'm going to switch over to the tool. And if you have questions about getting logged in, please put them in the chat or the Q&A, and Ashley and Samantha are happy to help with those too. So, okay. All right. So everyone can see my screen here. So this is what it's going to look like when you log in. This is the qualitative tool. Step one is going to be to create your project. So if you have your own data, and everybody can see my screen with the tool? Ashley and Samantha, yeah? Okay. All right, so you're going to create your project. If you have your own data, click New Project here. And then, sorry, my mouse is being a little crazy. Click New Project. You have to name it. The rest of the things are not required, but I would suggest filling them out if you have them. You can always go back and fill them out later, but it's going to inform the AI, and it's just easier if you enter them in. The qualitative framework, if you don't select one, then Lincoln and Guba is the default there. So just so you know that. All right, if you don't have data, you can pull in sample data sets. So you can click sample project here, and that's what we'll do. Let's see. I'm just going to pull in this. All right. So if you're uploading your own data, you'll see a blank screen that says upload your transcripts. You can add in text files, audio files, or start with a blank transcript. And then if you're using a sample project, you'll have all of these preloaded transcripts. So there's 4 in here. Okay. And while you can do manual coding in here, this session is about using AI. So we're going to go to AI tools and do inductive because I don't have any predefined codes. If I had predefined codes, I would add them first. Make sure you have a name and description for your codes. And then I would select the deductive option. So what the tool is doing right now is running through all 4 of these transcripts, okay? It's going to generate codes, code names, code descriptions, and then it's going to find excerpts associated with those codes. And again, if there's any questions or I'm going too fast, please put them in the chat or the Q&A. All right. Once this is done, so this has found 17 codes, 65 excerpts. You can preview your results in this tool. So as you saw in the protocol, one of the steps is you're going to read and reread your transcripts before you do anything. So if these codes look good, great. If you say maybe this one's good, this one's not great, you can click the refine results and you can just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, and it'll run back through based on your feedback. Okay, but for this purpose, we'll just say apply to project. And then this is where the vetting comes in. So everything that was generated by AI has this AI prefix here, okay? And what you're going to do is click into each code and vet it. So you can change the code name if you'd like. You can change the description. You just click in here to type. And then these are the excerpts that are associated with that code. So start here, excerpt 1. If it looks good to you, great. If you don't like it, you can just click unassign and it'll remove it from that code. Or if you want more context around it, you just click go to and it brings you to the spot in that transcript where that excerpt can be found. And then you can either keep it, extend it, whatever makes sense to you. Again, you're the researcher here. So once that's done, you can also merge codes together if you'd like. That's another feature that's in these 3 dots. So, okay. Next thing is maybe themes start to arise. So you can either add a theme manually, name and describe it, and click add. You can use the AI assist, which is you think that these codes go together, and you can click AI assisted theme and it'll generate a name and description. Or you can do the full AI thematizing, which is found up in these AI tools, and click automatic thematizing. And it's going to group your codes together and it's going to generate a theme, name, and description. So sometimes this comes up with a lot of themes, and if you want more or less, you can just change the number here and it'll regroup them for you. But I'm just going to apply these to the project. Same process here. You go through and vet that. So you're going to go to the three dots on the side and go to the details. And then let me give it better. That one only has one. So this one's good. So we'll go to the details. You can edit the name, edit the description, and then these are the codes that are part of this theme, the frequency of those codes, and then these are the excerpts that you've already vetted. Okay. So once that's done, you're gonna start writing up your findings, and that's where we do that in the insights section over here. So a couple features in here also use AI, and we'll show you how that works. Okay. So the research question rationale, if you've entered your research questions, you can pick your research question and say, I think these themes support that research question. Something that people do occasionally is for each research question, they pick all of the themes and then they just keep what they like and get rid of what they don't like. This is going to be an editable Word document. So you'll click submit here. And what that's going to produce is the research question rationale. So here's that first research question. Here's that first theme I included, and then a rationale for why it addresses the research question. And I just randomly picked it. You can see like this doesn't appear to directly address that research question. So you delete that whenever you go to edit your document. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a different project that has the discussion draft already created. So you can see that as well. It takes a few minutes to create that one. So in the insights. So you can see here, I have the research question rationale and a discussion draft. When you go to generate your discussion draft, we're going to remind you, hey, you didn't fill in these things, and you're going to want to fill those in if you have them available. Okay. You can always fill them in later and rerun it. It's easy to rerun things in here. So once you've generated all of this AI content, we walk you through the vetting. So we've created this reflections. One question we get a lot from faculty is, when using AI tools, how do I know that the students are critically thinking? How do I know that they're learning and they're not just pasting things in? And then students are like, how do I ethically use AI tools? What am I supposed to be looking at? How do I change it? So we've created the reflections feature to kind of bridge that gap. Okay. So once you've created this content, this is a table of contents here. You can click over to the reflections, and anything that was AI generated in this insights has guided questions to help you vet what the AI has done and add in your perspective. Okay. So research questions like the alignment we ask you about, completeness, and what you'll do is fill in your reflection. And for the discussion draft, same thing. We ask you questions about each section. And that's going to be used to edit the downloaded document and guide your edits. So when you download this, it's an editable Word document. All of your reflection answers will be included. And I always suggest doing just like a split screen and start editing this document guided by your feedback. So it's going to keep your voice, your perspective, all of your critical thinking will be reflected in those edits, and it's just guided through these reflection pieces. Okay, so I know that was a lot. Are there any questions about the tool, the reflections, AI, any of that? You can either put them in the chat, or it's a small group, raise your hand, we can unmute you, whatever makes sense. No questions about that? And I know we went through this quickly. While we wait for questions, I'll just put this up here. If you have questions later, if you're faculty and you want to try out the tool or you want a personalized demo, you're welcome to reach out to Ashley. If you're a student and have questions, you can reach out to Samantha here. So let's see. All right. So while we're waiting for any questions, I will go back to the tool and let's see. I'll go back to the tool and show you a few more things. All right, let's see. Let me get out of here. Sorry, everyone. All right, we're back to the tool. Okay, so a few more things in this tool. If you have questions as you're using it, you can click here. We have a full support page. There's how-to videos, things like that. Oh, can everyone see my screen? No. All right, now you can see my screen. I'll go back. All right, so when you're in the tool, you can click here. It'll take you to our support page. There's a full video library, okay? We also have resources on our website about both AI. People have questions about publishing in journals. Will it be accepted if I use a tool that uses AI? We have a full list of published works by Intellectus users that you can check out. Um, there's also trainings weekly, and you can always put in a support ticket if you have questions, and we get back to you the same day. If you're a faculty member and you're looking to teach a qualitative analysis course and you want to incorporate a tool that uses AI, we have a full course available for that as well. And you can reach out to Ashley. She can get you that information. Um, just to show you where some of these resources are on our main site here. If you go to the resources, video tutorials, training, there's a lot of info on our blogs and FAQs too. Okay. All right. So it's a quiet bunch today. If there's no questions, I can end the session early, or I can give a second for people to ask questions. If you have questions about your project, please put those in the chat or raise your hand, or if you even want to share your project and we can walk through coding it, I'm happy to do that as well. I want to make sure if you're working on analysis that you make progress there. And maybe while we wait, if you want to put in the chat, if you're a student or faculty, what you're working on, where are you in the process? And I'll give everybody a minute to do that. All right, well, if there are no questions, then I'll go ahead and end the session early. If you have, okay, we do have a question here. All right, you're working on an interview-based research project. Okay. Yeah, I'll give everybody a few more minutes, if you're getting your questions together. All right. Can the transcript from a focus group be uploaded, or must it be cleaned up minus timestamps? So we always say de-identify your data. And I know in focus groups, sometimes people are using a lot of names, so if you want to clean it up in that way, you can. It's really up to you. You could upload it as is. It's really up to you, but you do want it to be pretty clean. All right. And one thing that I'll show everyone too while we're waiting for more questions to come in is on our website, we have this AI policy since I know we're talking about AI, and it's a really easy like guideline, I would say. If you have questions about what to do, how to use it, what AI can and can't do, things like that. So would you recommend a single transcript uploads rather than a zip file? Yes. So when you upload your transcripts, you cannot upload zip files. You're going to need to upload the actual file. So it's going to look like this, and then it's going to be like a text file, Word document. If you have an audio file and you want to transcribe it in the tool, you can upload an audio file, but definitely upload the actual Word document, not a zip file. People also ask if they should upload all of their transcripts individually or if they want to upload, if they put them all in one document and upload it. And I would upload them individually because then you can say, like, if you have participant one or whatever it is, you can see which transcript that comes from. And sometimes that's important. And in our excerpt section, you can see the excerpt, the transcript. It comes from the codes and the themes right there too. And you can download that and share it with people if you want. Okay, how do I balance AI assistance with researcher reflexivity and interpretive authority? So you're the authority always. So AI, it's such a conversation because yes, you could AI your way through everything and you could just use the AI tools and say that looks good, that looks good. But you have to put your name on it at the end. You can't just say, AI did this. You're the person whose name is on your publication, on your dissertation. So you really have to dig into everything that AI produces. And I think of AI as just like a calculator, an assistant. It can help you get places faster. It summarizes a lot of information. That's what AI is good at, right? But you have to vet it, and you're the expert. Your voice has to be on it. So you really have to own what the AI produces and make it your own. All right. What are best practices for validating AI generated codes and ensuring they're not overly generalized or decontextualized? Again, that's where you come in, but I say go through every single code and it's going to go through and find them for you, but you need to go through and vet them. So go to the details of the code. You can name it, you can describe it, and you can, if it's overly generalized, edit it, you know? If it's pulling too many things in and you want a more specific code, delete some of these excerpts and you can go back and find other excerpts that you think better fit and you can manually add them. So maybe this excerpt is a better fit. I can go add that to this code if I want. Or I can say it's missing something. I can add my own code, you know enter, name it, describe it, click add, and then you can start coding to that one, or you can merge things into that one. So the tool does a lot of things, and I want to show you, features of the tool, but it's also open for you to use it and manually do things, merge things together, whatever makes sense to you. All right, other questions? And thank you for putting questions in. So can Intellectus support longitudinal memo development for audit trails and transparency? So one thing that we have in here is the memos, and what that does is everything you do in here gets tracked. And then what you can do is maybe I merged codes, things like that. You can add your own information in there as well. So you would just click edit, and then you can add anything you want in here. Um, Also, the reflections kind of adds transparency as well. So when you're over here and you go to the reflections and you fill these things out, it's showing, yes, I generated AI content. Also, this is my work. These are my thoughts that I put in around it. And then you can show how they merge together. So sometimes faculty will have their students fill out the reflections and it comes out, when you download this, it's an editable Word document. Um, all of your reflections are at the bottom and all of the AI generated content is at the top. So that's like one draft. And then the student or the researcher is to go in there, use all of the information from the reflections and edit that AI generated content. So they could show the other draft and you can see, how you've added your own voice, your own critical thinking to that AI generated content. All right, other questions? All right. Well, if there are no other questions, then we'll go ahead and end early. If questions come up again, please feel free to reach out. We want to support everyone in using these tools, and I know there's a lot of questions about AI and who can use it, what to do, how to do it. We're happy to answer any of those questions as well. Okay. And yes, we're going to send the recording out to everyone after, and you will all have access to the tool so you can get in there. I encourage you to get in there, even if you're using sample data, just play with the tool and see what it can do. I didn't go over a lot of these other things, but there's visualizations to be had in there. Um, there's lots of things you can do. So get in there, play with it. You can't mess up, use the sample data and just see if it's a good fit for your research, if you're comfortable, or if you have other questions about it. We're happy to answer those. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We will, like I said, send this over um, to everyone. And if you have questions, you're going to have my contact info, Samantha's and Ashley's in those emails, okay? So have a great day.